Dave Graney and the Coral Snakes are hitting the road this October, November for a national tour to mark 30 years since the release of their iconic 1995 gold-selling album, The Soft and Sexy Sound. And we're lucky enough to have the stars of the show, Dave Graney and Clare Moore, to join us here on The Breakdown. Welcome to you both.
Hi, how are you going, Costa?
Hello, Costa.
I'm very well. Thank you very much.
We have many mutual friends in that, but I don't know if we've ever met in the flesh or...
I don't think we have, Dave. I don't think we have met in the flesh. But yeah, I think I've spoken to you a couple of times over the years while I was at Triple J, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on back then, wasn't there, 30 years ago? The Soft and Sexy Sound was released and you were voted Best Male Artist at the ARIAs. What's it like to be mining that wonderful era again?
For us, it was a great period of Australian music in general, I think. And we were very underground people. We'd been making music since the late 70s, early 80s, and we're very happy in the underworld. There was I'm talking about the post-punk era. Our contemporaries that we started with were like the Birthday Party and the Go-Betweens and the Scientists and the Triffids, all that. There was a huge underground and a huge mainstream. And then in the 90s, that shifted a lot with different things coming in and freeing up a pretty sclerotic kind of system. And there was things like the Big Day Out that wasn't really controlled by record companies or booking agents, and there was the Triple J going national. And for us, because we never were on commercial radio, I should say we were suddenly working with a large record label. We were on a small label that attached to a large one. So it was a great situation and new one for us. Yeah, it was a great time. For us in particular, there was a lot of live performance on television that we took advantage of any opportunity like that, and it was fantastic.
You're right, there was a lot of support for Australian music by these kinds of small labels within large labels going on. So there was a lot of Australian music out there. And of course, the Triple J and the Big Day Out was showcasing it all. So it was like a fantastic moment in time.
I remember going to ARIA Awards all of a sudden when we started working with Universal, and it was very much like encountering the Australian music business. And everywhere we went, occasionally we'd go near a commercial radio, and there were people who ran the scene, and they treated you like a interloper, really. They say I went to a commercial radio guy, and he did the show from his house. He was so entrenched, he did what he wanted, and he just said to me, "Don't fuck with the room, mate." He was just like
Nice.
Really heavy. Don't fuck with the room. He didn't care who I was, what I did. Just don't fuck with the room.
You don't fit in here. And why are you here?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was very much that. At the ARIA Awards, it was like the super road cruise people of the world working this event, and they had the same attitude. Stand there, shut up, stand there, get off. And I never did. And I always really took advantage of those things, like they have a big auto text, and I would just ignore it and say whatever I liked, because I knew I had the power for that little moment. And so it was, you really still felt that kind of mainstream thing there, where the only groups that were authentic were Midnight Oil and In Excess kind of thing. Yeah. Everybody else was a joke. We really felt that,
It must have been then so satisfying for you to pick up, Best Male Artist, which of course you said, "Oh, I'm the king of pop."
Well, before me, it was shared by John Farnham, Jimmy Barnes, and Diesel, and then I came out like a total weirdo.
You were the interloper, weren't you?
Oh yes, and the Shirley Manson and Chrissy Amphlett were giving the award, and I kind of came up, in a pink velvet suit I'd bought from a shop called Rocker in Carnaby Street in London. They thought I was a serial pest, and the next day, there was no hugging and air kissing, and the next day, the head of ARIA said in the Sydney Morning Herald or Daily Telegraph, "We're getting rid of that award if people like him are winning it. It's a joke."
We just
Incredible,
don't
isn't
know
it?
how you won it in the first place.
Yeah,
Like, how did you win it?
Well, that's the reach, wasn't it? That was the reach back then. Like you said, the big day out, Triple J, recovery, and all those
Yeah.
sorts of things.
That was great. Yeah, they
Yeah.
all came in and busted up that kind of
Yeah.
close scene. That was good.
Yeah, they were great.
It's a shame it's not around anymore. I mean, a lot of that stuff for
Yes.
me. I mean, we might just be old men and women. Oh, not you, Claire, of course.
Oh, thanks.
Shouting at clouds, but you know.
We were talking to a young friend, Mitch McTaggart, who does a great show about television. It's on Binge called The Backside of Television. He was saying Australian television free-to-air is full of reality TV. Why don't they do live variety music?
Australian.
Yeah.
Australian
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Why not?
Yeah.
Just so crazy, it might work.
Yeah. well, you're going on tour, so tell us about the band that's going to be touring on the Soft and Sexy Sound tour.
We did a tour in 2023 for our album Night of the Wolverine, which was a real independent release that we'd made ourselves, in 1993, distributed through Universal. And we did 18 sold-out shows around Australia, and it was great reconnecting with our original guitarist of the Coral Snakes, Rod Hayward, and keyboard player Robin Casaneda, and our bass player from our contemporary band, The Mistly, came along, Stu Thomas, and it was great reconnecting with Rod and Robin and the songs that we'd never played much live before. And the audience came out. It was a great experience.
Great fun,
So
yeah.
we're looking to do it again with this album, this was much more of a full studio expression of what we wanted to do. Night of the Wolverine and You Want to Be There were real kind of records that we just went in with everything arranged. We'd been playing some of the stuff live and it just went to tape, but Soft and Sexy Sound was a real studio recording.
So how different does that kind of come up on stage when you're doing it live? Is it a different kind of vibe?
Yeah, we haven't done it yet because
Well, we haven't done all of it yet. And
Yeah.
obviously, at the time, we played some of the songs on it. So yeah, we'll find out. We did do a couple of shows where we had no strings and stuff like that to represent the songs, and we'll get into rehearsals and work all of that out.
Robin, our piano player, lives in Canberra and he's really into it and he wants to do it in the exact order and using keyboards to do the strings and everything. And so we're going to be following Robin's orders.
Music director, we'll call
That's
him.
right, yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's a 2-set show?
Yes, we did that with Night of the Wolverine. We did the whole album in sequence and then we do a set of songs from other albums before and after it.
How would you rate the 90s? Do you think it was the best decade? I mean, you've come through you've been playing, like you said, right through the 70s, 80s and 90s and up to this day. So how do you feel about the music of the 90s?
It sort of went back to bands in the 90s. So the 80s was, it kind of, I mean, there were still bands, obviously, but a lot of them didn't have drums, for example.
Yeah, the recording technology was really dominant in 80s sound. With
Drum machines were very popular.
Yeah, loud snare drums and you can hear it in people's music. If you hear the Go-Betweens music when their first two albums, and then when they were working in London studios, the drums and everything, it's very 80s sound. And the Triffids,
Yeah, but in the 90s there was still that sort of music as well, but the band scene came back a lot. And I noticed also in the 90s it was a bit like when we came over to Melbourne and started playing in punk rock or sort of post-punk bands. There was a lot of women involved in music too in the 90s. Lots of bands had women who weren't lead singers, like bass players and drummers, and that started up again, which made life a lot easier for me too, which was just more of a normal situation.
I guess the 90s were also the rise of the CD. There was a lot of it was good in some ways. The sound, the sound of CDs is fantastic, but it was also a lot of repackaging and re-releasing and remastering of things, which they got better at. But it was great getting exposed to lots of classic reggae stuff on CDs, the compilations, and we would get through our involvement with Universal. We could raid their library and get all the island record stuff and that sort of thing. But I particularly loved a lot of early 90s kind of dance, kind of breakthrough things like pump up the jam, pump it up, let your body on the dance floor go tonight. And those kinds of funny things. And Crystal Waters with her freaky hits. And I love those kinds of things. And early rap, sort of late 80s, early 90s, early rap. We played at Livid Festival in Brisbane we were supposed to with Redhead Kingpin, but he refused to come out of his hotel room. But I love the primitive sound of the early dance rap hits.
Yeah.
But then the 90s for me was Tupac and Dr. Dre's Snoop Dogg and Notorious B.I.G. Also the Beastie Boys with Ill Communication. And
What an album.
Their dance kind of instrumental album, The In Sound from Way Out.
Oh, I love that one.
There were some really funny freak hits like Atomic Swing with Stone Me Into the Groove, that brilliant Swedish guitar band that came out of nowhere and didn't
and probably went back to nowhere.
It's odd. I've tried to track them and see what else they did. I think it was one guitarist singer who was just really fastidious about what he wanted to do. So people like that often find it hard to have bands together. But we had our contemporaries, the Underground Lovers, Kim Salmon and the Surrealists, the Cruel Sea, and
Custard,
and the Phobes.
Yeah, but there was also bands like Tricky, like the British scene was really interesting. You know, that sort of took all of that kind of
trip hop stuff.
To another level. It's amazing. And you got to see that at the Big Day Out too. That was fantastic.
Yeah, we certainly miss it, don't we?
Our first EP as the Dave Graney and the Coral Snakes we did in London with our London Coral Snakes in about 88, and that was produced by Barry Adamson. And his music all through the 90s was really great, and Pulp. And our friend Peter Milton Walsh in The Apartments putting out great music in the 90s as well.
You touched on it before, Claire. How's it been working and living so closely together after all these years? You know, being in a band, being partners must bring a kind of a different vibe to the relationship.
It's very convenient. So I don't know. It's just natural. It's just regular. You know.
Yeah, we don't know any different, really. No,
we've been.
I suppose
doing
not.
this since 1979. So, I don't know.
It just is.
Yeah, it works really well. We work together really well in the studio too, and we've just been incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
There's other people like you see, like Fiona and Gareth in Tropical Fuckstorm, same kind of operation.
Yeah, great band too.
Costa.
Oh. I'm used to it. It's okay. Dave, do you get a bit of pressure being the most famous person from Mount Gambier?
Oh, is he?
No.
No?
If you go to Mount Gambier, the beautiful Arts Centre library has a gigantic kind of image of the actor Sir Robert Helpman.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's visible through the whole town, so
okay.
I would say that was pretty famous.
So you're second most then?
Well, there's also the poet and author Max Harris, who was behind the Ern Malley affair and was a great modernist poet when he was young. And Casey Chambers comes from around that area.
I think you need to talk yourself up, Dave. Don't keep putting yourself down.
I'm the most happily identified with the area, I think, and probably have revisited the area a lot more. Yeah.
We're celebrating the 30 years of the Soft and Sexy Sound. The gigs kick off on Friday the 3rd of October in Sydney, and you're going Sydney, Wollongong, down through Victoria, over to the west, Fremantle and Margaret River, up into Brizzy and southeast Queensland, northern New South Wales, and back into Adelaide, South Australia. And you're heading to Tassie as well. That's fantastic because not too many bands get down there these days.
All right. No, we have a contact down there who puts together little tours for us. So, yeah, we stick the van on the boat with their gear and go down there.
It's a real one-man operation.
Yeah, it's really good. We had a great time last time. We played in a place that was outside of Hobart, which was an old hall that the local community had managed to save from being knocked down, I think.
It was
and it
beautiful,
was
yeah.
incredible, beautiful. It was south of Hobart, and I can't really remember Franklin. I think the town was.
That's right.
Maybe
yeah.
it was
yeah.
really amazing.
It was the Palais in Franklin. Was
Yeah,
it?
kind of volunteer run almost, sort of.
Yeah.
You know. So
They always have a good feel, good vibe, those gigs, don't they?
Absolutely. Everybody really wants to be there, and often they're daytime things, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. All right. Well, look, thank you very much for joining us here on The Breakdown. It's been a pleasure to have a chat with you. And
Yeah, it's been lovely.
hopefully we'll catch up when you get up to Brizzy.
Yeah, no worries. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Costa.
Thanks, Costa.
All right. Thanks very